Hello everyone, thank you for being here. We have a special interview today and we want to welcome at You've Got Me, Mrs. Suzie Bartel. She's the founder and the chair of the Ryan Bartel Foundation and the executive director Val Walters. Also, she's with the Ryan Bartel Foundation. Thank you very much for being here, the both of you. And I want to start with the first questions, probably to Suzie. Tell us a little bit about the history of your foundation and what made you decide to have that.
Yes, of course. The foundation is named after my oldest son, Ryan, and 10 years ago this year, he actually died by suicide when he was 17 years old. And, you know, when you're put in that situation, you go into shock and grief, but there is a moment in time when you realize you have to do something, because for me, I couldn't just sit back and watch all these other teens that we kept hearing from, that they were struggling and not do anything. So we made a decision that we needed to start this foundation because we wanted to turn our tragedy into something positive and to try and make a difference in teens' lives.
Wow, that's amazing. And what about you, Val? How did you get involved with this great foundation?
Well, I think, it's all about timing. And when I started talking to Suzie, it was January of 2020. And I was looking to make a change, had been an ED with a couple of other organizations, and finally took an offer to join the Ryan Bartel Foundation March of 2020. And at the time, there were a couple of programs that I was coming in just to sort of lead those programs and just continue to carry on the traditions that were there. And the first thing I had to do as the ED was to shut everything down because of COVID. And Suzie and I worked lots of hours behind the scenes trying to reinvent what the Ryan Bartel Foundation had been doing in person and find ways to engage those teens who were continuing to struggle, and now because of being isolated and lonely from their friends, had to come up with other ways to reach out to them and make sure that they felt supported and loved and continued to have community. So that's how I came to the foundation.
So you did join around the time of the COVID.
I did.
Yes.
A week before.
First week, because we went into shutdown, if you remember, I think it was a Wednesday or Thursday of her first week of working.
Yeah. Wow.
And we thought, it'll be a couple of weeks and we'll back to a year later.
Yeah, and you're still there. So tell us a little bit about your different programs you have, because I looked at your website and you're probably very busy, guys. Like it's a lot going on.
Yes.
Can you share with us, please, about different programs?
So we have, I'd like to talk a little bit about our signature program, which is called The Fort, because we started that back in 2018. And what it is we basically provide this series of interactive experiential workshops where teens come to the Fort. It's basically a community space, and it's designed to be a space away from home and from school to de-stress, to really connect with other kids who may be going through similar challenges that they're going through. They're usually socially disconnected. They don't feel like they can find their place in the world, and they're trying to really find other people who are like them. And how that happens is through these experiential workshops. The workshops are very carefully designed to give them experiences that might appeal to their interest. And so we have 4 modalities. One is expressive arts, and it could be anything. A workshop could be painting, clay making, journaling, music. There's all variety of things. The other one is mindfulness. So we do yoga, we offer meditation, we have different workshops that just practice breathing techniques. So people who are really into trying to calm down and de-stress a lot. And then we bring in animals, dogs, therapy dogs.
How cool is
Yes.
that?
The kids love the therapy dogs. And obviously that's very calming for them as well. And sometimes we will, as part of the animal connection, we will take them to a different location where they offer equine therapy. So they get exposed to the horses as well. And it's an amazing transition when you work with animals who are used to doing this, because there is that bond that happens with animals and traumatized teenagers. It's really fascinating to watch how that works. And then the final modality is physical activity, so movement, trying to just do stretching or going out for a walk in nature. So those are the 4 options, but then each workshop is very different. Mm-hmm. So what happens is that when they go through those workshops, they find that there are other teens doing the same thing as them, and they have a common interest, and that's how they start bonding.
So did the student will choose which workshop
Yes.
they want to be part of? And what about the ages? What you're seeing, like the most ages who participate on this workshop?
We started off doing 13 to 18,
Okay.
but we are seeing more and more younger kids who are struggling. And so now we accept kids as young as 11. Sometimes it's a question of maturity level, because a lot of 11-year-olds are not quite able to function on their own in that kind of setting. So we usually have to have a conversation with a parent to make sure that they're mature enough to join us. But it's basically spanning 11 all the way through to 18.
And where do you do the workshop? Where is the location?
Well, we are very fortunate that we have some amazing community partners who offer their space for us. And so we tend to move around the county. And this is done on the weekends because that's when the kids are available.
Yeah.
So it's a Sunday afternoon. We have a location in Western Loudon out in Purcellville.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have a place here in Ashburn, Crossroads Church. And we also use Fusion Academy. They let us use their place as well. And in fact, just before we came here today, we are talking to the Sterling Community Center because we want to bring, we really want to bring the fort to the Sterling community.
Oh, that's nice. And what is the most you feel you had been accomplished, especially when Val came on board to help you? Like you feel like today I was so proud, I accomplished this. Well,
I think Val has some stories.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, day to day, the work can be heavy, and we see kids kind of sometimes who are really struggling, and I feel that we are having such impact on the kids who come and who participate in the program. We had a young girl who started, I would say about a year ago, and hair in her face, just disconnected, had been through her fair share of trauma, and was attending pretty regularly and coming to the programs. And you could sort of see that armor sort of chip away, where she would come in and give you kind of a half smile, but she would keep coming. And I've seen the maturity and growth of that young lady. She's actually part of our student advisory board now. I see her coming in, her confidence has just skyrocketed, and the feedback from the family is that she's a changed person. So this was a young girl who really had a hard time through COVID, and has kind of come through on the other side, and now is a role model for other kids who come to the fort and see, how she's interacting and seeing her growth. So I'm really proud of the work that we're doing and the impact that we're having.
You're changing lives, basically.
We are changing lives, for sure. And people ask, well, how many kids have we saved from, a tragic death or from self-harming? I don't have that number, and that's a really hard figure to come up with. But I do know that we have changed lives, and we have, brought kids out of the depths of despair and sadness and loneliness into, you know, a place where they feel community and they feel loved and they feel that they're welcome.
How long the program will stay for the one student?
You know, they stay anywhere from, you know, just a few months sometimes, but like this lady, she's been coming, I think it's actually been 2 years.
Yeah.
So we've had students who come 2 to 3 years consecutively, and then they mature. Obviously, they graduate from high school as well. But the longer they come, the more positive the experience is. Yeah. And just want to mention that the Fort is our main signature program, but we have lots of other programs, and there's so many, as you said on our website.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah,
like I said, oh my God, you're busy.
Yeah,
we
do a lot of programs during the week as well. But I think we wanted to focus on the Fort just because it's very special, because we see it has the most impact.
Can you talk to us a little bit about events? I know last year I was part of the golf tournament event. So tell us a little bit what you plan this year. What are you planning to do as events?
Yes, we have 2 fundraising events this year. One is going to be the golf again, which will be on May 6th, and the other one is going to be in October the 19th, and we're going to do more of a gala where there's going to be a sit-down dinner and a concert. My son is a classical violinist, and he's going to be performing, and he's bringing other musicians and some well-known musicians as well to play. And the reason it's very important for us this year is because we're at our 10-year anniversary since Ryan died. And October, in fact, is going to be the month where it's exactly 10 years. So that event in October is very meaningful for us, and that's why we're making this into a bigger event. You know, we really are going to invite lots of donors who really are passionate about mental health, because we know we're making an impact, and this is like the starting point for our next chapter.
Can you share with us what is next? What is, I know you don't want to say right now, well, we know that it's going to be some opportunity in Sterling, this is great.
Yeah.
Where is your foundation? You want to take it to the next level by maybe 2025 or 2026? Because are you planning to expand a little bit? Because I can see like what you do. This is a lot of people, even in different counties, need that.
So you know, I'll start with, you know, the simple yes, and only because we know that there is a growing need for mental health services. There is a equally large gap in the number of service providers that are there. So we see that. So we're kind of in this perfect storm area, and there are not a lot of organizations that are doing the work that we're doing in trying to build those resiliency skills. So I'll let Suzie talk about the two new programs that we have that are going to hopefully get us prepared for what will be eventually growth within the county and perhaps even outside the county.
Yeah. So I think that the 2 big changes this year is that we just actually launched a Teen Mental Wellness Facilitator Training certification. The reason we did that is because there's a shortage of mental health providers, and the workshop providers who help and support us at the Fort, they are experts in different domains, like, for example, they might be a yoga teacher or an art teacher. What they don't have is the mental health training. So we're trying to add to their already existing skill a set of fundamental skills in mental health that include youth mental health first aid, because when they're in these workshops, we have seen such a big change in the state of these teenagers from pre-COVID to post-COVID. And the kids that we're seeing, they are emotionally, they are in a much more acute state. And so the facilitators who are in the room with them, they need to be better prepared. They need to be able to know how to address somebody who is really struggling in their workshop. And that's why we've done this training program, so that they're going to be really skilled and are able to function in this kind of setting. And that is a big step for us, because if you want to have a mental health license, that would take years, right? But it's not obviously going to make them a professional, but it's a step in the right direction. So that's one program. The other one is the Teen Ambassador program. We're very much about peer-to-peer influence. And we are going to train, it's going to be a year-long program for our teenagers who are passionate about mental health as well. And they will also get training. And they become like a peer mentor to those kids who are in our programs. So they get a chance to basically mentor them, help them, make them feel like they are part of a social group and that they're connected, and obviously supported. Yeah. So that's going to kick off here, and actually we're going to start recruiting in March. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Are you guys also connected? I'm sure you are, but I just want to make sure. Are you connected with the Loudoun County Public School to discuss this with the students? So if somebody needs help, they can come be part of these amazing workshops.
We've been connected with Loudoun County Public Schools since 2016. When we first started the foundation, my first job was to go into the schools. I went obviously into the school that Ryan had been in, and that's where we started. We actually introduced Sources of Strength, which is a suicide prevention training that we first piloted inside the schools, and then LCPS took it on themselves, and we're still a partner with them. So we have an agreement where we provide the trainers. We actually help them with implementation of this program inside the schools. And this program has been probably around since 2016, and it's in pretty much all the high schools and all the middle schools now.
Wow, that's amazing. Because this is where, mostly the kids come, the students.
Yes. So, but to answer your question, like the Teen Ambassador program, we're already talking and sending them information so that they can actually help us recruit students who are passionate about
this.
That's great. Yes.
Spread the word in community outreach.
Yes.
That's what it is about.
Yeah.
Tell us how we can help as business owners. How can we help? And also, do you look for volunteers?
Yes.
Do you need volunteers?
So we're always looking for people who are passionate about mental health, passionate about working with teens. You can go onto our website in the Support Us tab. There's a volunteer tab that you can click on or reach out to me directly. My information is on the website. We're always looking for volunteers. We do have facilitator type volunteers, but then we also do events. So we'll need folks who volunteer at the golf tournament and help make sure that that's a really successful event. Volunteers are really special and really help us do the work that we are able to do.
And also probably sponsorship would be great.
We would love help with our fundraising efforts. So if you're a business out there that believes in supporting mental health for youth, please, we would love to have your support because that's how we basically survive, right? So, like most nonprofits, we have to raise a lot of money on our own. So it makes a big difference, and thank you for your sponsorship.
And your support.
Yes.
If we don't step up together to be together and help the community, because I feel always there is a lot to do.
There is always a lot to do. The work really never ends, but I think it's very gratifying being involved in nonprofit work, because when you know that you can make a difference to somebody else's life, it's so much more rewarding for yourself.
Well, Suzie, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate everything you're doing, and this is amazing. And we will add your website, and we're looking forward to support you on your events and be there and help you as much we can. And I also hope all the business owner who is eating, even individual, if they would like to volunteer, just go to the website. Can you share with us, please, your website?
Yes, it's RyanBartelFoundation.org.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Natasha.
Thank you for having us.